Casual Climbers is brought to you by Rose's Room. Rose's Room is the online home of author and columnist Rose Padrick, where she slips off her shoes, sips a cup of tea, reads a little, writes a little, and visits with her friends. Rose's Room features curated works of hers over the past couple of decades, links to her books, columns, and publications. Rose is a Florida author and freelance writer, born into an Italian-Irish inner New York City family. She lived in a Huckleberry Finn-like childhood on the Space Coast. Her experiences as this child, a mother, and a grandmother serve as the inspiration for her column. Rose's Room was published in Florida Today, Hometown News, Today's Senior, and the Port St. John Happenings. Rose's short stories and articles have been featured in Women's World magazine, RV Life, Pet Gazette, Camping Today, Quilt Works, and many other publications around the country. Browse her works on her website, rosepadrick.com, and drop her a note. She'd love to hear from you. That's rosepadrick.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Casual Climbers, the podcast by and for beginning hikers. I'm your host, Donna Padrick, and alongside me is my husband and adventure buddy, Roy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So in this podcast, we provide you with tips, tricks, and reviews of some of the many hiking trails in the Blue Ridge area. Now, we may be unfit hikers, but we love the outdoors, and we want to share our experiences with you. In today's full episode, we discuss the Frolictown and Granny Burrell Falls Loop Trail near Sapphire, North Carolina. We also have an amazing fun fact about something really record-breaking discovered in those mountains, and a review of a pretty great barbecue stand only minutes away from the trail. What do you say, Donna? Ready to get started?
Let's go.
So here's the Frolictown and Granny Burrell Falls Loop Trail by the numbers. The distance is 3.3 miles in a loop. It took us 1 hour and 50 minutes total time, and of that, an hour and 38 minutes was actual moving time. The lowest point was 3,618 feet, and the highest point was 4,108 feet, which is a 490 feet elevation change. Now, the friendliness of this trail is pets are allowed, and we did see a lot of them, but it is not mobility chair friendly at all. First, let's start with how to get there. So to get there, search for 3531 Starts National Forest in Glenville, North Carolina in your map app. That'll get you right to the parking area. Now, the parking area, Donna, let's talk a little bit about that. So parking is limited, and there's not really any defined spaces. It's more just areas off the dirt gravel road that you can try to find a park.
Yeah. When we got there were lots and lots of cars there already. I thought this wasn't as popular or well-known as a trail as it... Well, actually, we saw so many more cars than we saw people on the trail would account for.
Yeah, the problem with this particular trail...
That parking area must be for many trails.
There's a bunch of trails that go off there.
Okay, I noticed one or two more, but...
Yeah, so the parking area, there's maybe space for 15, 20 cars if people park right, which we saw some didn't park right.
Yeah, there were places where you could pull straight in and you'd be fine. Your back end of your vehicle would be off the road, but people parallel parked. They took up...
two or three spaces.
It's dirt, so there's no lines or anything.
Right.
And then there are some places where you can only parallel park off the side of the road.
Right. It's a very narrow area. This is not... it's basically parking off the side of a dirt road.
When you turn off the paved road onto the dirt road to get to this hiking trail, the road almost becomes almost one lane because the dirt road, I think if we had tried to pass anybody,
it'd be very close.
Somebody would have to kind of find a place to pull up.
I agree. Yeah, you're very close. And at the parking area, there's at least 4 trails that spur off of this parking area, which is why I think we saw a significant amount of people on the trail that we were on as we walked through, but not as many as there were cars to show for it.
Right. I don't know where all those people were going.
The different trails. There's a whole bunch off of there. And so let's just get this out of the way. This is not a very well-defined trail loop. As a matter of fact, it's portions of 5 trails.
Okay, that's
on this
believable.
loop.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend using a map app, either Komoot or All Trails, which is what I've been using now for the past few weeks.
And then download your path when you have internet, not when you get to the trail.
Exactly, because there's no network up there, so
Do you
won't
have
be able
to
to
pay
download it.
for a service to have offline maps in these trail things?
On Komoot, no. On All Trails, yes.
Okay, so
But it's a very cheap. It's like $10 a year for All Trails. It's not that
but
expensive.
you've got Scottish blood.
I do, but having the ability to download it, because the places we go does not have network
I'm
or
glad
internet
that
of any kind.
Yeah, it is. We would still be out there probably on that trail.
Yeah, because you have to take, like, it starts out straight, and you can see the photo. I'll put the trail map photo on our Instagram page, which you can get on our website. And it's a straight, and then in the loop starts. So you kind of walk maybe half a mile, and then the loop goes around. And you can go left or right. We chose to go right. So we went counterclockwise on the loop. And so the first spur is one trail. The second part where you go right is another. And then you have a third part. So it's very difficult to stay on track unless you have an app itself.
Mm-hmm.
So the trail starts high, too. Like, the trailhead is the highest point of the entire trail.
Which, with waterfall trails, this happens often, I think. I mean, you're doing the climb with the drive up there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but just know this. If you hike down to a waterfall, you have to hike back up to get to your vehicle.
Yep. And it was a steady climb back up.
Well, okay. So I feel like I want to mention that I didn't break a sweat until we were almost back to the vehicle, until we were, what would you say? We had done probably 3/4 of the whole hike.
Yeah, about 3/4 of it. So about 3/4 of a mile, the last 3/4 of a mile is a straight climb up.
Right. So,
and that's when we started to break a sweat. But it was like, we're talking, this was August 24th.
Yeah.
And it was cool in the morning.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
And by morning, we mean 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock is when we started, yeah.
So, but yeah, Florida, that never would have happened.
No.
No. I
we
mean,
just started sweating when we walked out our door.
I think December 25th, we would have started sweating. When but I want to say, I do kind of wonder if we had just turned around and gone back out the same way we came in. Because when we started at the trailhead, we went to the right. And I wonder if that was just more gradual of a decline and then more gradual of an incline when you come back up.
I don't think so, because either way you're climbing up, especially when the loop completes its loop and you still have a good half of mile to go back to the parking area.
Yeah.
It's still pretty steep incline. It's like a 20-degree grade. So it's a significant climb back up.
Okay, let me just say, so when we came back around and we were almost-ish to the vehicle, remember we passed that couple and they were going down it was something between rocky and gravelly, but loose rocks, and the man they were going down, we were going up, and the man kind of slipped on those rocks. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was a place from the other side, from like our way down to the waterfall from the other side. I don't think there was a place that had that kind of a grade where we would have slipped going down or had trouble with our footing going up.
No, but we walked down that exact same spot.
Oh, okay.
It goes down and then the loop starts. So it's kind of like a lollipop. So we went down the exact same spot that we went up.
Okay, so we just didn't slip on those rocks.
No, you had poles and he did not.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I had both of my poles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's a steep incline and a steep decline. I carried my pole mostly for the decline. The incline, having a pole helps, just to keep your legs a little fresher because you're having your arms work. But let's talk about the 2 waterfalls that are on this trail.
Okay.
So the first one is the Frolictown Falls. And you have to kind of take a little spur off of the loop to get to it. It's very short. The spur's very short. It doesn't take you but maybe 5 minutes from the loop to take the spur. And there is a marker there that says that the falls are this way. It's a very unimpressive waterfall.
Yeah.
It's not very big. What about 12 feet? Maybe.
Yeah. And it's so shaded. The water looks dark. There was a lot of foam on the water from the water.
There's a lot of sediment in the water. It's kind of murky and dirty.
Yeah. So I just want our listeners to know that our cat is being a real jerk right now. He is.
He keeps trying to jump up on our equipment.
Yeah, I'm running interference with our cat, trying to keep him from walking across Roy's laptop.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a little distracted.
So, and it's not even really a
that
great waterfall. It just kind of rolls over this rounded rock.
I love all waterfalls.
I do too.
And so I did take the time to climb. It took me the third different. So, because if you take the path, you're at the top of the waterfall and you can't really see it. You can hear it. You know there's a waterfall there.
Right.
You can kind of see that water is disappearing over the edge. And then there's another, like you're going back trying to find your way down to the waterfall. The second one, you can kind of get to the side of the waterfall. The third one that I found got me down to the base of the waterfall. But then I had to kind of climb across some stuff to get over to
you
landing.
walked across some logs and rocks to get to the other side so you can actually see it. And we took pictures, so they'll be on our Instagram. You'll see the Frolictown Falls. I think the pictures will make it look more impressive than it is.
Maybe. There are spider webs.
Yeah, because most people don't go down.
Right. And there was a couple of parents with small children that were kind of playing around that
trying to get down
waterfall.
There.
Yeah. Which,
it's whatever. It's do your thing. Yeah, I think you said at the time, it's not worth going to see it.
I wouldn't do it again.
It wasn't that much effort, though.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's why I think parents with small children, this is maybe a good thing because I had not even gotten winded or broken a sweat at this point. Nothing. This is very early on.
It's like a 1/10 of a mile from the loop to get to this little waterfall. So
I did notice
low effort.
Coming back up after going down to that waterfall, coming back up, I got a little winded. But again, I'm an unfit hiker. So.
Yeah, it's your short spur that takes you down from the loop to the Frolictown Falls. So a waterfall is nice, no matter what. The waterfall is nice.
Yeah.
This is not one of the ones I would write home about, or probably will even remember much after seeing it.
But that was just the first waterfall.
So that was the first waterfall. And then you get back on the loop. And I do want to say this about the trail. It's very clear that there are several ecosystems going on here. Because down by the waterfall areas, there's deep ferns. There's lush flora going on. There's a lot of fungus. So you see all kinds of different mushrooms and stuff.
Flowers.
And it's a very wet forest area. And then as you go around the loop on your way toward Granny Burrell Falls, it's forest, like pine forest. So there's pine needles all over the ground. There's pine trees. It's a very dry area in this area. So I love trails that have different ecosystems for you.
Because you could get bored with,
with the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah. It was very shaded the whole time.
Yes. And we even walked through, I want to say thickets or, like places where there was a canopy
of rhododendrons. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to that point, parts of the trail that we did, parts of the loop that we did, you're allowed to horseback ride.
Yeah.
So
on parts of it.
So just watch out for those. What do they call them? Trail apples or whatever?
Yeah.
the poop, the horse poop.
And there was
quite
more than I would expect
on sections.
Yeah.
But then when you are walking in the more closed in, more like you've got stuff that's canopying around you, horses can't go on. Like horses can go on this part and then not this part, and then this part and then not this part.
It's a difficult trail to just kind of wing your way through trying to navigate it. So having a trail app is definitely the way to go on this because you can get turned around and get to the wrong trail easily. There's a whole bunch of trails that are, bifurcating this particular loop. So
yeah.
So yeah, we did see that. And then and then we got to Granny Burrell Falls, and it's kind of hidden. You kind of have to walk. You can hear it.
Yeah.
You can hear the water going, and you have to kind of take a left off if you're going counterclockwise to get to it. But it's a very neat falls. It's a very different waterfall. Why don't you tell them about it?
So I read about this waterfall. I read that you can actually slide down because it's a huge boulder that water is falling off of. Then, okay, so the thing that makes this one different than the first one that we saw is that there's a lot of patches of sunlight, a lot of sunlight on the water down below. There was a lot of smooth rock, almost like bald rock, kind of like that a lot of people were just finding a place.
Just finding spots and you and I did that ourselves.
Yes.
We found a spot, and there, like you said, there's tons of room there.
Right. There was this one girl who was drying off. She was completely wet from head to toe and had her like towel with her, and she was sitting down and enjoying her lunch. She had gone across the water.
There's a big pool, kind of not right directly below the waterfall. And by waterfall, we're talking more about water rolling over a gently sloping rock.
Right. Almost, you could slide off that. I mean, I don't know if I would.
Well, because it's a hard rock down at the bottom. I don't know if I would either. But yeah, it's a very gentle sloping rock.
Plus, there's
waterfall.
all this algae on the rock.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't want to sit down on that.
No, I don't think I would either. Get all that algae.
But there were some dogs that were very excited about it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that pool was fairly deep. Clearly, she was, like you said, soaked head to toe. And there's a ton of area. We saw, gosh, I don't know, 6 or 7 different groups of people who were just sitting and enjoying their snack and listening to the water rush down.
When the people with the dogs came, they were golden retrievers, I believe, and 2 were on leashes and 1 was not on a leash. And so this one woman, she was eating her lunch next to her partner, and she had gotten up and was like just wetting her feet in the water because it's very shallow in places. And when the dog that was not on a leash was just kind of investigating everybody's stuff, she went over and she was like, "Oh, I guess I better pick my food up because this dog might."
Because he was about to get a snack.
Yeah.
The dog was very sweet,
Very sweet.
But yeah, I mean, he totally would have grabbed a snack just because he's a dog, right? So,
exactly.
Yeah. No, it was a nice area to just sit. You and I spent, I think, probably the majority of the 20 minutes that we were not walking there.
I'm glad that I had my thermocells for the hike, my mosquito repellent things in my backpack, because I think they really protected me.
I didn't notice a single bug, even though you could see them. I didn't feel any bites or anything buzzing around us. No, yeah. So I know this podcast is starting to become a Thermacell ad, but it really does work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then once you go past that, after you spend some time there, and we encourage you to spend time there because it's a great spot to sit and relax, have a snack, do whatever.
You could sun yourself or you could sit in the shade. That was nice too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could get in the water there if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great little spot. Just know that there are people there. So it's not private.
Yeah.
There are a number of people there. It's clearly a very popular spot.
When we got down to the end of the path to get out to see the waterfall, there was 2 people that had stopped right there at the edge of the path, and they were having lunch. So we had to kind of awkwardly walk around them a little bit to get to a place. I mean, there was so much space. Why were they sitting?
Yeah, they were sitting right there in front of the entrance.
Yeah,
I know. I mean, it's not like yoga guy,
right? No,
they could have been a little bit more considerate. Yeah.
There's so much space there.
There's so much space. It was like a football field size of space that you could spread out in. Yeah. Yeah.
You pick the 3-foot area at the end of a path.
At the end of the path. Yeah. The backside, I will say this, as you leave that area, it's very, very rooty through there.
Yeah.
We had to be really careful about our footing because it's real rooty and a little muddy in spots.
And I feel like the spiders are making spider webs behind whoever has just destroyed their spider web by walking through a path.
Yeah.
In some places. They're just ready.
I don't think the backside is as well traveled as the front side was. Okay. I think most people go to the front side and then go back out.
Okay.
Because you're right, the trail was much narrower on the backside. It was much more primitive. Now, we did pass through this area of pine forest that looked like it was a spot for primitive camping, and we saw a
bear-proof
container, that
for
was
your
chained
food.
to a tree.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So,
The one time that you and I went camping and there was a bear-proof container and then this was not primitive camping. This was at Alexander Springs in Florida.
Mhm.
But there was a hole. The bottom of the thing had rusted out. There was a hole in the bottom of the container. We still put our food in there. And in the middle of the night, there was a
raccoons.
raccoon that was sticking his arm up through
And
that
getting
rusted hole. And he got
our whole loaf of bread.
Yeah, I think it was like hamburger buns, hot dog buns.
Yeah. Very enterprising young raccoon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or a wily old vet, probably.
I'm pretty sure it was a raccoon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So there is one really gorgeous view on this trail, too. And it's pretty early on.
Yeah. The vista.
Uh-huh. So as you go down from the start of the trailhead, it's about maybe a quarter of a mile down. And then you're just presented with this beautiful vista of the mountain range that's right there. It's absolutely beautiful. So you get that treat on the way in and on the way out.
Okay.
And it's a good spot to rest on the way back up because that's the steep climb up. And we did. We took advantage of it. And again, pictures will be on our Instagram, so you can check those out.
Yeah. I told you before we did, because you were trying to prepare me for the difficulty of this hike. And I told you, I can do anything with the correct amount of breaks. I know that about myself now. With the correct amount of water and snacks and breaks, I can do almost anything.
And you did. We got through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got through it a pretty good amount of time. Like All Trails said it would take about an hour and 20 minutes, and we finished it in an hour and 40. If taking out the time that we stopped.
Okay.
So that's not bad.
Yeah.
For some unfit hikers.
Yeah, you were spurring me on there at the end because I was at the end. I was like, nope, this is where I live now.
Yeah, and we only had like
I could
60 feet to go.
Yeah,
we could see the cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you got through it.
Yeah.
So would you recommend this trail to anybody?
Yeah, I'd recommend it. But I mean, I will say that we didn't get in the water, and we always now have in our heart Hooker Falls.
It's no Hooker Falls. No,
it's no Hooker Falls.
No. And if you're looking for a trail that has great waterfalls, this one's not for you. There's way better trails that have really good waterfalls. But this was a nice little trip. I mean, the trail was shaded almost the entire time.
Yeah. Very, very, very dog friendly. Very dog friendly.
Yeah, totally dog friendly. You get 2 small waterfalls and a beautiful view.
Yep.
So, you know, you and I were talking about this while we were on the trail. While it's not something I think I would go out of my way to do, if we were in the area, I'd certainly go and do it again.
Yeah.
What would you classify this? Break a sweat?
I did break a sweat.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah, definitely a break a sweat. On the verge of feel the burn on the way up, because it's a good 3/4 of a mile of a straight incline, which is challenging.
Yeah. I mean, not like rock climbing incline, but, you know, it was, for me, it was not easy coming back. But honestly, the whole thing up until that last, if you could have just got a wagon and just come down and pick
just
me
take
up,
an escalator up.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, then it'd be a piece of cake.
Yeah.
But,
for me,
yeah.
but you're pulling me, so in that.
Oh, I'm pulling you in a
Yeah.
wagon? Nope, that's not happening. We're not doing that. All right, so yeah, that's Frolictown Falls and Granny Burrell Falls Loop Trail. We would recommend it, but don't go out of your way to do
And watch for the horse poop.
it. Definitely watch for the horse poop. So Donna, what's today's fun fact?
I'm so glad you asked. Today's fun fact is about sapphires, one in particular, the Lone Star Sapphire.
The Lone Star.
Yeah, which is odd that we're talking about the Lone Star Sapphire and we're talking about North Carolina.
Not Texas. Yeah.
Right. So this story is from several sources, but primarily the Charlotte Observer newspaper from December of 1989.
All right.
Our hike today was just outside the town of Sapphire, North Carolina, which used to be the territory of the Cherokee and Creek tribes of the Native Americans. After Andrew Jackson's Indian Removal Act of 1830.
Very popular act.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy.
Yep.
Wanted to give them that other land.
Yeah.
The area was largely vacated by natives and settlers began populating the area in the mid 1800s.
Sure, natives are gone. Let everybody else move in.
Well, I mean, you have to have the right skin color, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a great look.
Nope.
God.
Forgettable time in history.
In 1890, Pittsburgh oilman E.H. Jennings bought a large tract of land in the area and started building lodges and resorts. As more people began visiting the area, people were discovering precious gems and stones in the mountains there. Several mining companies moved in to take advantage of the rubies, silver, mica, gold, and even blue sapphires. There was so much sapphire that the town was named for the abundance of the gem in the area.
That's awesome. And you know that whole area is called Sapphire Valley?
Is it? I didn't know that. I knew, well, as soon as I realized, because I always like to check the weather of our hike. So you find the nearest town to where your hike is, and then you check the weather. And I was like, Sapphire, North Carolina. I wonder if this is called Sapphire. And then,
yep, it's Sapphire. It includes Cashers, Glenville, Sapphire, and a couple other small towns in the area.
So this is where our fun fact takes flight today. Fast forward about 100 years, and we meet Harold Roper. Harold was from a tiny hamlet in western North Carolina called Marble, not too far from Sapphire.
So this is not the same Harold Roper from Three's Company?
Okay.
No. All right. Good.
So I'm wondering now.
I am picturing Don Knotts, though.
No, don't do that.
This is a story about Don Knotts.
Well, I like Don Knotts.
I love Don Knotts. I love Don Knotts.
So this guy's from Marble. So was Marble named Marble because there was lots and lots of marble found there? I mean, like, they were...
I don't know. I tried to look it up, and there's next to no information about Marble. It's so small.
I'm going to go ahead and say that.
Okay. That's where Marble was born. We'll go with that.
Or a lot of marble was found. Let's just say that. So in 2010, there was a census, and it recorded a population of 321 people.
Boomtown.
In the town.
That is massive. 321 people in Marble.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I don't think they had a Walmart or anything, but they did have a post office.
I did see they had a school for 2 years.
Just 2 years?
That's it.
Oh my gosh.
And then it shut down. Yeah.
Well, maybe they don't teach it real well. I mean, maybe
it's just too small to support a school.
Okay.
So.
All right. But anyway, greatness doesn't need to come from a major city.
It does not.
Yeah. There was nothing remarkable about the morning in question, June 1989. It was a Saturday, long before sunrise. And like most summer Saturdays, Harold Roper had already loaded picks into his Dodge four-wheel pickup truck and driven from his home in Marble to somewhere in the area. He never publicly revealed exactly where he made his discovery. With him was Rob Cutshaw, his rock hunting buddy of 25 years.
So it was Harold Roper, a.k.a. Don Knotts, and Rob Cutshaw, who I'm going to assume is Andy Griffith. So I'm picturing Don Knotts and Andy Griffith going out on a rock hunt.
I like it.
Yep, I'm on board.
I'm in favor, yeah. So on this remarkable morning, Roper made a spectacular find that threatens to make a millionaire out of a man who's rarely left his native Cherokee County.
That's weird to say threatens to make a millionaire. Now, I know this wording is from the Charlotte Observer, but
yeah,
like if somebody said, I'm going to make you a millionaire, I would not consider that a threat.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a weird wording.
It is strange wording, but this is all the way back in 1989, right?
Yeah, I mean...
So
they barely had newspapers at that time.
Yeah, it's almost older than dirt.
Almost.
I graduated high school in 87.
I
know. All right. So 2 feet below a vein of earth where the two had dug for a year and found only chunks of rubies and sapphires.
Only chunks of rubies and sapphires.
I mean,
wow.
That's worth it, though.
I say only sarcastically because I would love to find chunks of rubies and sapphires.
Yeah. Well, apparently they would too because they came back here and they were looking. Roper pulled up a deep blue star sapphire too big to stuff into his pants pocket.
Uh-oh.
Uncut, it weighed 10.5 pounds.
10.5 pounds?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you don't just find a cut and polished ruby in the ground. It's got a bunch of rock surrounding it. And
yeah. But 10.5 pounds.
That's massive.
That's like a big baby. Do you know how hard it is to birth?
Weird that your brain went to baby and mine went to a gallon of milk. So a gallon of milk is 8 pounds. So it's heavier than a gallon of milk. That is massive.
The biggest baby that I ever birthed was over 8 pounds, almost 9 pounds. But my sister had a 10-pound baby.
Oh,
and
man.
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I
that's-
can't even.
That's a big baby.
Yeah. Okay. That's almost 9 times larger than the world's previous largest star sapphire, which weighed only 1,154 carats.
So this sapphire, once it was cut and polished,
Yeah. It was the size of an egg-shaped cantaloupe and weighs 9,719.5 carats.
9,719.5
Yeah. I mean,
carats.
we could-
When we talk about gems, like somebody says, "Oh, that's a 1 carat diamond." That's a huge stone.
yeah.
9,000.
You're not wearing this around your neck.
I mean, Flava Flav would.
I don't think so.
But that's massive. 10.5 pounds. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Harold Stone, called the Lone Star, was certified in December of 1989 as a star sapphire by Roger Harding, curator of gems at the British National History Museum.
So a star sapphire is a specific type of sapphire. There are
Right.
different types of sapphires. And so this is a very specific type. It's a star sapphire that is blue. So it is a blue star sapphire.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Like any boy who digs in the bountiful North Carolina mountain dirt, Roper always dreamed of making such a find. In his teens, he'd go with his father, Harley, a rock mason, to dig for Indian relics.
That's very cool.
yeah.
That is very cool.
That is a sweet father-son thing to
That's
do.
a very cool thing to do.
So Roper said, "My father got me hooked. He liked relics and I liked gems."
You know, it's funny. I would dig for relics too. I'd be the relic guy.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
I'd be the gem person.
Yeah.
Yeah. In high school in nearby Andrews, Roper met Cutchaw. After Roper made his big find at a location they refused to pinpoint.
I don't. Why wouldn't they tell everybody where they found this massive multi-million-dollar gem?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just tell everybody.
Sure. Yeah. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
The two loaded it into a canvas sack and took it back to Roper's rock room in his house. Curiosity got the best of them, and Roper ran the edge of the rough rock over a grinding wheel, and deep blue spilled out.
Can you imagine the excitement you'd feel after seeing that?
I cannot. I mean, and then to realize that is all. Well, I guess they knew that this was all one rock.
Right, but you don't really know how big the actual sapphire is. It could be just a bunch of chunks of smaller ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So in October of 1989, they took it to Dallas and gem cutter John Robinson, which kind of makes me wonder. They took it to Dallas.
Dallas, Texas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if he influenced the Lone Star, the name.
Well, I think the name comes from the fact
The
that
fact
it's
that
a
it's just
star
so-
sapphire.
It's a star. Yeah.
So
and
that's where
so,
star
but-
comes, and the
I-
lone is because how big it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like it is a nod to Texas, in that Texas is a very big state, and this is,
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I tried to confirm that, but
Yeah, I looked too.
in my mind,
He
I'm
never
going to
really
just
said it.
go ahead and assume that, yeah. We took some other stones with us, but when he saw this one, he grabbed it and didn't want to see the others, Roper said. He's like, "This is the one."
This is the one.
This
Take all
is the
that other
one.
nonsense out of here.
Robinson wanted the stone cut in London, and in November, he and Banks took it to R. Holt and Company, known for its gem cutting. It took them 3 weeks to cut and polish the stone. Can you imagine having that job?
Now, I looked into this, and the average time to cut and polish a raw stone is 3 days. It took them 3 weeks on this monster.
I would be so careful.
Are you kidding me? Would you want to be the guy that cracked this
Oh
thing?
my gosh.
No, thank you.
Oh, yeah. No, 3 weeks. The massive size of the Blue Star Sapphire isolated it from the rest of the famous Blue Star Sapphires in the world, whose weights were around 500 carats and less.
So, most of the famous blue star sapphires in the world weighed 500 carats, which, by the way,
Is big.
is huge.
Yeah.
It's the size of a baseball. That is massive. This is 9,718 or whatever. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that came into contact with this would have been awed by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. Are there pictures of it?
There are
Did-
pictures, but
okay.
pictures just don't do
Yeah,
it justice.
they really
right?
don't.
Yeah.
The massive rough stone, when unearthed, weighed 10.5 pounds, equivalent to 4.77 kilograms. In terms of carats, the weight of the rough stone works out to 23,850 carats.
That's massive.
After cutting and polishing, the finished stone weighed 9,719.5 carats. So only 40% of the original weight of the stone was retained in the finished gemstone.
So 60% of it was sedimentary rock that was surrounding it,
or
parts of other small sapphires,
You
stuff
have
like
to
that.
cut a stone in order to really see its brilliance.
Yeah, I mean, they're cutting and
and polishing, yeah.
I hope that they kept all the other smaller parts of sapphire. You could make dozens of rings off of what they cut off.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
They probably did. The finished stone was reported to have the size of an egg-shaped cantaloupe.
So a cantaloupe, so that's basically the size of your head, right? This is a sapphire the size of your head. That is huge.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Harold Roper and Daniel Banks met with the Guinness editor, Donald McFarlane, in 1990 and were confident that the stone will enter the next edition of the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's largest cut and polished star sapphire. So I looked this up and I couldn't confirm whether it made because
it is. It absolutely is. Yeah. When I was looking into this, it's still in the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest by a lot.
Okay. This is 34 years later, the Lone Star remains the world's largest star sapphire in the world. So somewhere in the mountains under our feet, maybe when we were walking this trail yesterday, we could have been walking on a vein of massive sapphires.
You know what? I may start just carrying a rock pick with me
That's
start.
Heavy.
But can you imagine if we're on a trail and I just kick a rock and I start to see blue specks and we come home with a multi-million-dollar sapphire?
I mean,
I'd quit my job. I'll tell you that. Oh, without question. Yeah. I'd still do this podcast though.
Would you?
Yeah. Because this is fun.
Huh. Okay.
Would you stop doing the pod? Would I have to find would I have to find a new co-host?
Maybe. I mean, I get half of that sapphire, right?
Well,
I might.
Now that you're talking about quitting the podcast.
No, I would still do the podcast for sure, but I just might. You know how I love to shop at thrift stores and stuff.
Would you shop at thrift stores still if you're one? You totally would.
Yeah,
you totally
because that
would.
For me is treasure hunting.
Yeah.
Like you find somebody else out there has.
You're not finding a shirt that's worth millions of dollars though at a thrift store.
No, but sometimes I find clothes that are worth $150 and I buy it for $5.
Okay, all right.
I mean, $5 is expensive for a thrift store, but
that is, yeah. So wow, so Don Knotts and Andy Griffith found this massive stone in the area, even though we don't know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
There's a reason that this valley is called Sapphire Valley. They named a town after it. There was dozens of mines there over the years.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to believe it was on the trail that we were on.
So we've been finding out North Carolina and the Blue Ridge Mountains areas, they have a wealth of.
It's full of gems and precious metals. Yeah.
And
tons
sapphire.
of them. Gold, silver. We saw, it was interesting yesterday when we were on the trail, like parts of the trail were totally sparkly because of all the mica that was there. It was just, I remarked, it looks like male strippers walk this, like a parade of male strippers walk this trail, dropping all their glitter as they went. Cause it was just so glittery and it was shimmering in the sun. It was really quite
beautiful.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. The way your brain works though.
I don't know why I went to male strippers. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't want to talk about it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we'll move on.
Okay.
So let's talk about our review of this neat little barbecue stand that was only minutes away from the trail.
Okay.
So minutes away from the trailhead, Donna, is Cashers, North Carolina, which is a pretty popular spot for people. And there is a wonderful little barbecue stand there.
Yeah.
Called On the Side BBQ.
Yes.
And it's located in the Cashers Farmers Market at 78 U.S. Highway 64, Cashers, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really kind of neat. So this is just a stand that you go up to. It's connected to the farmer's market. And you place your order and they give you your order. But they have a way more robust menu than I thought they did because we had eaten there a couple times before.
Yes.
But I don't remember their menu being as robust as it is. They offer a lot.
So there's no inside seating, but there is picnic
there's
tables
5 picnic tables
out,
outside.
and they're
Yeah.
covered, and it's pretty nice. There's a dog there's a couple of dogs.
There's actually 6 dogs
Oh, are
on
there?
their website.
Oh my
They
God.
have the dog names
Oh,
there. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a dog that the
They
dogs
just
will
walk
beg
ar-
for food, and you're not supposed to feed them, so don't feed them, Donna. But the dogs are sweet as could be.
yes.
They're absolutely sweet. But the food there is incredible. I had a beef brisket sandwich, and it was really good. You had
Chicken salad sandwich.
and was it good?
Yeah, it was very good. I mean, I will say this. I think that if you are trying to be healthy and avoid salt and that kind of thing, get the chicken salad sandwich. I would have preferred it if it had more salt and pepper and stuff like that. But for people like my mom and my stepdad who are really trying to watch their salt intake, this is the thing to order.
That's great. Oh, the last time we were there, I got smoked turkey, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
It was incredible. You can buy it in sandwich form. You can buy it by the pound, and their sides are great. The best mac and cheese I've ever had.
Yeah, that was like, because I had a taste of your mac and cheese and it was very good. It was like a white cheese.
It was a white cheddar. Yeah, it was amazing.
It was so creamy.
So good. Yeah,
It
best mac and cheese. If I go there again, I'm going to get a quart of just mac and cheese and just bury my face in the mac and cheese. It was so good.
Okay. All right. That
Yeah.
probably is not the healthiest.
No, probably not. So if you want to check out the menu, you can get to it by going to cashersfarmersmarket.com. And now Cashers is spelled a little weird. Cashiers.
Right. So it's like cashiers at Publix or
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ingles or whatever. It's like a cashier at a grocery store, but they pronounce it cashers.
Mm-hmm. Parking is
Ye-
very challenging because this is such a popular place.
Well, and we were there on a Saturday afternoon.
There is a lot of parking, probably 40 spaces, but
But-
we had to park a good ways away in a
Yes.
different parking lot and walk over to it because it was so full.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very busy. And the farmer's market that's attached to it is really great.
Oh my gosh. So good. We got some pumpkin bread with chocolate chips on top.
Yeah,
Oh,
so good. They have fresh vegetables, they have wine, they have local jams and jellies and
yep.
salsas.
They have
and
a lot of choices for gluten-free.
they do. It's a very progressive little pocket of North Carolina, I think,
Yeah.
in Cashers there. It's really nice. Check out the farmer's market. But the barbecue was really good. I was super impressed with it. And it's not that expensive. I think my meal cost me $13
Yeah.
and I couldn't finish it.
They do have daily specials. I took a picture of the daily specials and we only saw that after we ordered
Yeah.
because you kind of have to look up and to your right.
And there's a different special every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that one of the days, the daily special, I think was meatloaf sandwich or something like that. And for Saturday,
The daily special. Okay, so for Saturday, it says half smoked barbecue chicken and it's $12.50. And this is, you get the slowly smoked till moist and golden, glazed with market barbecue sauce, choice of side and a drink for $12.50. I don't think you could get that at
that's a good deal.
McDonald's.
Yeah. Oh, no, definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you were talking about one of the days I'm seeing, let's see, are they closed on Monday? I think they're closed on Monday because there's no daily special for Monday. But Tuesday, it's grilled turkey Reuben. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
That does sound good. Yeah.
Wednesday is buttermilk fried chicken. Thursday is Philly cheesesteak.
Oh, yeah. That Philly cheesesteak looked really good too.
And Friday is the classic Cashier's cheeseburger. And all of these are like about $14, $13, $14.
Right. I mean, that's what you're going to pay
Yeah.
in any.
And
restaurant
it's,
now?
it's plenty of food. I mean,
I
we
agree.
each only ate half of our sandwich and brought the other half home
Right. Yeah.
because it's so much food.
It's a lot. Yeah. So it's really being connected to the farmer's market so you can grab food and then walk around in the farmer's market. They have tons of fresh produce. We brought some peaches home yesterday.
Yeah, we're going to make some peach tea.
Yeah, it's really a neat place. Again, it's at 78 US Highway 64 in Cashers, North Carolina. We highly recommend going there. It was less than 10 minutes away, and most of that 10 minutes drive is when you get off the highway going up to the top of the trail and the mountain. That was the vast majority of the drive. So it's just minutes away from the trailhead.
Yeah.
Well, I recommend it. Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
We will be going back.
I think so. I think that'll be our go-to stop anytime we're we're near that area.
It's nice because, like, if you're sweaty after a hike and you're having lunch,
You don't have to go into you don't have to worry about going into a nice
nobody's gonna
restaurant.
judge you.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, stop by there. It's called On the Side BBQ right there in Cashiers, North Carolina.
Mhm.
So that's our show this week, guys. Frolictown and Granny Burrell Falls Loop Trail in the Nantahala Forest right outside Sapphire, North Carolina. It's a really nice 3.3 mile loop with 2 small, kind of underwhelming waterfalls, but diverse ecosystem, nice and shaded. And there's plenty of place at Granny Burrell Falls to sit, relax. You could spend hours and hours there and just enjoying the water and the sun. It's a really nice trail. We recommend people going to it. We wouldn't go out of our way to do this, but if we're in the Cashiers area and we want to hike, we would definitely recommend doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to us in whatever podcast app you use and be sure to leave us a review because that's how our show grows. Feel free to check out our trail photos at casualclimbers.com or on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a question, comment, or just want to drop us a line, you can reach us at casualclimberspodcast@gmail.com.
So, Donna, there's something exciting going on our website right now.
What's that?
We got merch.
Yes.
We have merch on our website. If you go to casualclimbers.com and select shop, you will see some Casual Climbers gear. I'm wearing a shirt right now.
Yep.
Casual Climbers See Out on the Trail shirt. We have shirts, hats, bumper stickers, and our product line will continue to grow. So we hope that the prices are good for everybody. We want you to enjoy it, and it's a great way to support the show and to let everybody else know, hey, is there a good hiking podcast? Yeah, just look at my shirt. There's a good one there. So be sure to check that out on the show, Donna, or on the website, and tell all your friends.
Yeah.
Get yourself some Casual Climbers merch.
I was wearing the hat yesterday.
You were, and the hat looks great. I
Yeah.
was so happy with how it turned out.
Yeah.
So casualclimbers.com and go to the shop.